Good morning. It's about 6:30. I left camp at about 5:30 and I've been climbing for about an hour and already sweating. Though now up here on the ridge there's a nice cold breeze. I was so tired last night I was probably asleep before 5 or 6. Right before I went to bed, I got a text from Sweet Potato. And I said, "How are you? Where are you?" At 11:30, I checked my text. And that's when I got her mile marking number. And I sent her a laughing emoticon and said, "Are we at the same place?" And so I put my phone back on airplane mode, and then this morning I woke up at about 4 and I thought, well, I'm gonna try to beat the heat. I will just eat breakfast and then get on my way. And so I opened my tent and there's this woman standing on her head on a yoga mat, and I couldn't tell exactly if that was her because I heard voices last night and I didn't hear one that sounded like her. So I had breakfast out the other side of my tent, which I could see a hammock off to my left, but it was still too dark to tell who it was. So I ate my breakfast and then I went to the privy. And when I came back, I saw her bear canister, which is kind of unique. And I went over there, and we both just laughed. We couldn't believe that we landed at the same place. But it was really good to see her. Gave her a hug. That's probably the first hug I've had since the last hug I got from her. So she is going into a hostel that's about 10 or 11 miles out today. She's got a box waiting there for her, and I have to do 17. So we have determined that we're going to keep in touch. She's also meeting someone Friday or Saturday. I need to be at Delaware Water Gap by Friday or Saturday. I need to check the post office hours because I've got a box there. And I need to get there before the post office closes. Hopefully they'll have hours on Saturday. But that's going to make for some long days for me in order to get there in time. So we've decided that we are going to keep in touch and maybe try to meet up again after Delaware Water Gap. But anyway, it was really good to see her. And I am in a sea of unfamiliar faces. I don't recognize anyone. Again, I don't know if I'm behind or ahead, or if the people that I knew have just quit, which is a possibility. I look on the registers that have gone before me and I only see 1 or 2 whose names I recognize. And anyway, it's been sort of disconcerting. I am web blazing this morning. That is never fun. There were bad bugs at that last campsite, which is weird because the grass was nicely mowed. It was a really nice spot to tent. We were off away from the house and across the road, across from the shelter. And so my plan is to do about 17 point something to bake oven shelter. The water situation there is iffy. If there's no water, I'll press on. If I get there really early, I may press on because I'm not going to be able to get to another shelter tomorrow. Because it's like 24. Either 7 miles or 24, something like that. So, everything's sort of up in the air. I'm feeling tired today. I felt pretty good yesterday. Up until the end. The day was a perfect hiking weather day. And I don't know what today is going to be. So, I guess that's it for the morning report. This is Rebound, signing out. I'm gonna have to eat some major crow. Since I passed the 501 shelter, there have been long stretches of either rocky path or long stretches where you've had to rock hop over boulders that have just been like tossed. And it is really slow going. I must have been dissociating through these sections on my other 2 hikes because I really don't remember it being this bad. But no one ever mentions the long sections of trail that are flat and rockless in Pennsylvania. But I gotta say that especially these past 2 or 3 hiking days, it has been very painful on the feet, and the rocks at times have slowed me down to about 1 mile per hour. But I just wanted to make sure I backtracked on that publicly because it has been grueling at times. Right now, the path is flat and pretty rockless, so I don't know. It just goes back and forth. Hello. We just had some unexpected, most awesome trail magic put on by Tagalong and Tyke. They had sodas and fruit. They even had cheese sticks and pickles and all kinds of snacks. And I even saw sweet potato there. She is a fast one. I stopped by a shelter to use the privy, and she apparently passed me then. And she is on her way to the Lookout Hostel. And I don't blame her one bit, because I would be moving fast too if I was going into a hostel. But the best thing at that trail magic was ice cold watermelon. Oh boy, did that go down good. And I had watermelon, a banana, some peanuts, and a Coke. And it was very good. Just the Coke alone would have turned the whole morning around, because I gotta tell you, that morning rock scramble was grueling. It's really not only physically but mentally and emotionally taxing for me. So, and then almost as soon as I fessed up and ate my crow, the trail got a lot better, and we've had a lot of flat trail with minimal rocks, and that has been nice. When I was at the shelter, to use the privy, I did talk to a guy going southbound, and he said the water at the shelter I'm going to is about a half a mile down, and it's not well marked, and that people have gotten lost down there. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may just go to the next water source, pack out some water, and stealth camp, which I don't want to do because going to the shelter alone is around 17. So we shall see. We shall see what happens, and I will let you know when I know. Hello, I did 17.4 today. It was a very challenging day with lots of rock climbs that I had to use my hands to get over. A lot of the rock scrambles were not well marked with the blazes, and it was just a tiring day. I did have trail magic early, and right before I got to the shelter, there was also trail magic. It was two brothers who had hiked the trail in 2016, and they had hot dogs and hamburgers and all sorts of stuff, sodas, potato salad, macaroni salad, chips, brownies, other sweet stuff, and it was just too kind. Both the early trail magic and the later trail magic, the people were just so incredibly nice, and it was so appreciated. I had about 1.3 to hike up to the shelter I was staying at. The comments in Far Out said the water source was about half a mile down to the water source, and that some people were getting lost down there because it's not real well marked. But the people at the last trail magic had plenty of water and told us to fill up our bottles. So that's what I did, and I was able to avoid going to the water source here. Tomorrow, I don't know what's going to happen. We're supposed to have thunderstorms, and tomorrow is that really challenging climb out of Lehigh Gap. I am tempted to only go 7.5 miles and stay in the shelter. Or my other choice is to go 24 to the shelter after that, mostly due to the water sources and the terrain. Otherwise, I just don't know what's going to happen. I've been stressing about this since I entered this section, so anyway, I guess that is it for today. This is Rebound, signing out.